And my dad is like, man, what's going on? We sit down at the table, and he asked me, like, what's going on? And, most parents are just concerned about what you're doing with your time. What are you doing? And we really weren't communicating. I never even told him that I was Drumma Boy or that I made beats or made music because I wanted my name to get to a certain level before he would even take it seriously. So, I had about $10,000 cash in my pocket. He was talking all this, you ain't gonna be shit type of shit. You ain't gonna make it where you're going down the wrong roads and things like that. And I pulled out $10,000 cash, and he was like, you can't buy your mama the house she want. You ain't got no debit card. I didn't have a bank account.
Yeah, $10,000, no bank account, no debit card.
No, I'm 19 though, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't buy your mama the house you want. You can't buy, you ain't got no debit card. You don't have, credit.
Yeah.
But you the big bad wolf, I can't tell you nothing. You're a drummer boy, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Show me $100,000 in your bank account in a year. And if you don't, we gonna fight. My dad was a boxer too on the side, so he was ready. No gloves, by the way.
No gloves, just
yeah, he was ready to, fuck me up. But 10 months later, I remember stepping to him with $150,000 in my bank account, and we've been best friends ever since. So. Real talk.
Yeah, that's a good story, man. That's a good story.
We are bringing out a dynamic duo, okay? So the first one has multiple Grammys, one being for Usher's Raymond versus Raymond, okay? Very exciting. So the dynamic duo also includes a woman who you guys will know from the popular show of Love and Hip Hop, as well as she does music and she acts. And so we're super excited to bring them up to discuss how to make money in the entertainment industry. So without further ado, we have Drumma Boy and Jessica Dime. Hey. Can you help her up the stairs? Welcome to the Melanin Money Show. How you guys feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling great, blessed, can't complain. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Y'all looking like money.
Oh, come on, man.
Thank you.
Money said y'all came here looking like money, ain't
You always got to compliment the situation. You got to compliment. We're just a compliment, you know what I'm saying?
We love it.
We're super excited to have you guys here. So we know that you guys have recently launched a podcast, Beauty and the Beats, and that's what makes you guys the dynamic duo.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how you guys linked up on that?
Well, we are both from Memphis. Drumma and I are both from Memphis, and we've been knowing each other for a while. And I was at House of Fresh, his your app lunch at your store. And I was doing an interview, and he was standing back there like, damn, sound good on the camera. And I was like, thank you, Drum. And somebody said, y'all should do a podcast. And we just started talking about it. And Drumma, one of them people, when you say do it, he just executes it and does it. I was like, Drumma, I just want to show up now. I don't want no responsibilities now. And he made it happen. So I'm appreciative for the opportunity to do it.
Already, that's pretty much, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I remember posting some on the Instagram, and I was like, man, if I do a podcast, what would I call it? You know what I'm saying? And I love involving the people. I love involving the audience, you know what I'm saying? And just all these comments coming through, da. And somebody was like, Beauty and the Beats. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah, when I heard the name, I'm like, Beauty and the Beats, y'all snap with that one. Y'all snap with that one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So
well,
here
thank
we are.
Thank you to our fan, whoever gave us the idea.
Well, you are both, respectfully famous in your own right. So, Drumma, why don't you tell us about how you got started in your music career and how you got to where you are today? And then Jessica will let you do the same, but you all are very prominent figures, so just give us that story.
Man, I came up, basically, RIP my older brother, Insane Wayne, but a lot of people familiar with him, you know what I'm saying? And I came up, under his guidance. I started working with this cat named Gotti. We made a lot of history together, a lot of street anthems that got me going through the hood. and it took on the likings of Jeezy, Pastor Troy, Block, ENT. So when I came to Atlanta, one of the first songs that I did for Pastor Troy was Make 'Em Get Their Money Right. It was a strip club anthem. I was 19 at the time, you know what I'm saying?
Man, y'all got it.
I wasn't even old enough to get in the strip club, but you know, it taught me a lot about, you know, just how music circulated through the strip clubs and whatnot. You know, just even a stripper requesting your music on her set put so many other eyes on your music. You know what I mean? And like, damn, okay, who is that? You know what I'm saying? And when females get to requesting your music, I think, you know, the fellas just jump on in. You know
They want what the girls like, you know what I'm
You
saying?
know what I mean? And DJs play what the girls like. You know, they play what the crowd likes, you know, more importantly. So, you know, I made music for the crowds, you know what I'm saying? I help a lot of trap rappers tell their story. You know what I mean? And you know, transition to, you know, music is my revenue. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And then we went on to real estate and things, you know, so on and so forth.
Got it. We'll get to that, yeah.
Solid.
Well, my story is a little long, like Drumma's, but I'm from Memphis. I basically did a lot of things like growing up, like college, stuff like that, but I wasn't really into it as far as like going to school. I knew the work, but I didn't like going.
Yeah.
So I was kind of venturing into my own thing, and I had a couple of homegirls that were already in Miami. And they were like, Dime, we heard you been dibbling and dabbling in the strip club. Because I was like a fake stripper. Like, I wasn't really into it like that, but I was like, let me go get a coin. So they were like, it's money down here in Miami. Come down here, dance, da-da-da. I was like, okay, they my homegirls from Memphis. I trust them. Went down there, started like just working in a hood club.
Okay, so that's
Started
not
off.
King of Diamonds, Miami.
No, this is not King of
It's not
Diamonds.
King
A
of
lot of
Diamonds.
people get that twisted. I didn't start off at King of Diamonds. King of Diamonds wasn't even thought of yet.
Okay.
I started off at Take One. If you look that up, it's like super hood.
Somebody said, oop.
Yeah, it's super hood. That's why I became Dime Piece at. And it was, all the people in Miami was just so welcoming. They was almost like Memphis people to me. They were so nice and cool, even in the hood. Like, I like the food. I'm like, I love this. This is it. But I end up just getting acquainted with different people, getting to know different people, and they started asking me to do videos and stuff like that. And I was like, is it money involved? If it's not, I don't want to do it. Yeah. So they started saying, yeah, it's money involved. So I remember I went and did a Rick Ross video. Me and Trina became real cool, and I started doing her videos. Whenever she called me and asked me to do them, I was like, yes, I'll come. And I would be so excited and go and do that. And then we go into the King of Diamonds era, when it started becoming a little bit more popular for us to be dancers and stuff like that and be in videos and stuff like that. And they started following the Monday Night Boxing because of Wayne or Drake saying it in a song. And we kind of just became popular for some reason. Yeah. It's a lot of us that came out of there that just went crazy. I don't know. It was a blessing and a curse at the same time, because it was like, you a stripper, but then we wanted to transition to other things. I didn't even know a pole trick. So I was like, oh, I'm making money, but I don't make money like them. I just make money because how I am, and I know relationships and stuff like that. So I started dipping and dabbing and going across the street to the studio, recording music, because I already had music in me. My uncle was a blues singer. I already had friends that rapped back in Memphis that I used to try to be their manager and stuff like that. So I was like, I'm gonna try it. And I tried it, and Trina was real supportive in the beginning. So I was like, I'm gonna try it. I hit up Gangsta Boo, did a record with her, and I was just having so much money I just started paying for my rap myself. Just started paying for my studio time, paying for my videos, paying Boo for verses, doing whatever I had to do. And Love and Hip Hop called. And no, I'm skipping some. I got signed 3 months into rapping. I got signed to Flow Rider.
Wow.
Yeah, I got shout out to Flow, Freezy, Strong Arm, all them. That was my day ones. So I got signed to them. I went on the road with him. We're performing a whole lot of different places. You know, everything happens for a reason. We went our separate ways. We're still good to this day. And that's when Love and Hip Hop called. Got on Love and Hip Hop, and it's been since. You know, that's probably where everybody pretty much know me from that.
But you were in Miami when you got the call?
No, I was already done with Miami. I kind of was like in a transition. I was like, I had just decided not to be signed anymore. And I was kind of back and forth back in Memphis. And I was like, what am I going to do next? You know, like, what's next? Do I keep rapping? Do I stop? Whatever. And Love and Hip Hop hit me up. And I went and did an interview, and they picked me, and it was from there.
What's up, guys? Congratulations on joining Team Blackwell. But we'd be remiss if we didn't give you a uniform as an official player on the team. So head over to shop.melaninmoney.com and grab your official uniform for Wealth Builders and Co. We'll see y'all at practice.
Okay. I got a question for both of y'all that I think is very interesting. When was, so Drum, you asked this first, how much was your first big check? Like that first big bag, and what did you do with it?
I was just in the back chatting with her like, man, my dad actually made a bet with me. You know what I mean? I'm a gambler. I love betting on, things that I can control. So, I'm in college, University of Memphis. I grew up on the campus. My dad is a first chair clarinetist in the Memphis Symphony Orchestra. He's a professor at the University of Memphis. So he taught. I grew up on the campus. I ain't had no babysitters. University of Memphis was one of my babysitters.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? The church, you know what I mean? Aunties, uncles, family members were my babysitters. So when I graduated high school, I went to University of Memphis. And mind you, I've already had so much training and homeschool training from my father because he the professor. So it was a lot of things that I didn't need the school for because I already had that.
Gotcha.
So I was kind of bored, you know what I mean? And back and forth to Atlanta, moving around and whatnot. My junior year, I ended up getting kicked out due to unattendance, long story short. And my dad didn't find out about it until about 3 months into the 6-month suspension. So the whole time, I'm halfway down, and but he cool with the dean of the university, so I couldn't believe, we made it that far, you know what I mean? But he found out, of course he's pissed, he's embarrassed, you know what I mean? And he's like, I don't care where you are, man, I need to see you tonight. And I'm in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. But, I had so much respect for my father because he taught me so much. He taught me the foundation of music and music theory and just everything. Like, it's a lot. That's a longer story.
Right.
But long story short, I drove to Memphis. It's about a 5.5-hour drive just because I was that confident in who I was. Right. I was like, man, my dad ain't talking about shit. What you mean? All right, where you at? I pull up. You know what I'm saying? I'm 19.
Yeah.
I got the biggest strip club in Atlanta. I got the biggest song in the strip club in Atlanta. You know what I mean?
Right.
And my dad is like, man, what's going on? We sit down at the table, and he asked me, like, what's going on? And, most parents are just concerned about what you're doing with your time. Mm-hmm. What are you doing? We really weren't communicating. I never even told him that I was Drumma Boy or that I made beats or made music because I wanted my name to get to a certain level before he would even take it seriously. So, I had about $10,000 cash in my pocket. He was talking all this, you ain't gonna be shit type of shit. You ain't gonna make it where you're going down the wrong roads and things like that. And I pulled out $10,000 cash, and he was like, you can't buy your mama the house she want. Mm-hmm. You ain't got no debit card. I didn't have a bank account.
Yeah, $10,000, no bank account, no debit card.
No, I'm 19 though, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't buy your mama the house you want. You can't buy, you ain't got no debit card. You don't have, credit.
Yeah.
But you the big bad wolf, I can't tell you nothing. You're Drumma Boy, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Show me $100,000 in your bank account in a year. And if you don't, we gonna fight. My dad was a boxer too on the side, so he was ready. No gloves, by the way.
No gloves.
He was ready to, fuck me up. But 10 months later, I remember stepping to him with $150,000 in my bank account, and we've been best friends ever since. So. Real talk.
Yeah, that's a good story, man. That's a good story.
Okay, well, my first big check. It's been so spread out for so long.
You get so many big checks for so long, my bad.
No, I'm not even saying that. When you say like big check, like I can say strip club money that I made that was like thousands and thousands of dollars. So I would say my first big amount of money leaving the club, because that was like my first big pot of money. One night working all white Jeezy. They had Jeezy there that night. It was an all white affair. I left the club with $32,000.
Wow.
In one night. And I was in a pal with 6 other girls.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Everybody. That
I
sound
was
like
in
they
a
dropped
pal.
about
Count
200.
that up. Add that
They
up.
dropped about a quarter over there.
Diamonds days, though. This is the King of Diamonds days.
Gotcha.
This was I don't remember seeing a rapper in the building except Jeezy, and Jeezy didn't throw a dollar. It was regular guys, regular men that we see every day spending money with us. They was waiting on that all white affair, and they did not spend a dollar till Jeezy walked on the stage.
Wow.
So we were just sitting there, so we was like, oh my God, we not finna make no money. Where's the money? Jeezy walked out, the all white everything with Gotti play, and it looked like snow. And that night I left with 32 grand.
That's
Wow.
That's a good night. So somewhere along the line, you guys both fell in love with multiple streams of revenue, right? So for you, Drumma Boy, what was the first branch for you? So you started producing music, and you were getting a check from that, right? And then you grew beyond that. What was that story?
I would say, honestly, the first branch, the biggest branch for me has been House of Fresh, the fashion, opening a store. You know, my first job was just for feet. That was the first place I was working before my music popped off. And I was good with selling shoes. You know, I was good with selling deals. And, you know, whatever your budget is, we're going to make it happen. What you come in with, hey, I only got $80 on my card. You know, I need to get 3 pair of shoes for my kids, Okay, well, we're going to have to go over here on the clearance. Your kids ain't going to be happy, but you're going to be happy with what you come out of here with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So a lot of times the little niggas are like, man, I want the Jordans, man. I want the J's, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I'm motivating mama to come get these Bobos or these, you know. But, you know, that just being able to deliver, you know what I'm saying? And then putting, you know, a sneaker cleaner with a shoe, or putting an outfit, you know what I mean? Or a hat or whatnot with the shoe, you know what I mean? And accessories. I became the #1 shoe salesman at Just for Feet, you know what I mean? Ask Cordova, ask Memphis about me when it comes to this fashion, you know what I mean? And, you know, I was just always wanted to bring that back throughout the music. I get so many free clothes from LRG to Nautica to Polo to Nike to Jordan to Penny to, you know, I got a lot of relationships, you know what I mean? And I wanted to, you know, start that and give back to the community and be able to deliver my relationships to the public. So I opened up House of Fresh, and here we are going into our 5-year anniversary, man.
House of Fresh is amazing, so y'all check it out when you're in Atlanta.
We had the BET gifting experience, by the way. It was crazy.
Nice.
Some of everybody came through, a lot of comedians, artists, actors, singers, songwriters. It was action packed. So follow us on the gram at House of Fresh ATL.
House of Fresh ATL. Yeah. So I feel like there's a stigma in like the music / entertainment industry with like, or even in athletics, like a lot of fast money comes, but it also kind of goes. So what has been some of the biggest lessons you guys have learned about getting money and how you've been able to manage it and keep it versus like seeing it go out the door? What's going on, guys? I'm George.
I'm Jacqueline.
And I'm Carter.
And we are your money mentors. But today we wanted to talk to you about a really special feature, Financial Flicks. Can you imagine an entire on-demand library of financial content across 3 main categories: wealth building, entrepreneurship, and personal finance, so that you can take your finances to the next level?
Guys, when you replace entertainment with education, your life will change forever. Imagine replacing 1 hour of Netflix with 1 hour of Financial Flicks. Imagine how much further that could take you to your financial destination. And we have the perfect library for you.
Yeah, so if you're ready to Financial Flicks and chill with us to put more of your energy into education, then join us in the club. We can't wait to see you there.
See you there.
Well, with me, I feel like I had a lot of experience with it coming from not even stripping, just coming from my jobs before that, like I was a waitress. My family, they got a barbecue place in Memphis in the airport. Well, it was in the airport. And I used to work there most of the day, and I made so much tips so fast at the airport because, you know, everybody's turning tables so fast. Maybe like $300 or $400 a day just in tips. That was pretty good for a waitress. So I was like, you know, this is good, but it made me be like, I like fast money. I like for money to come in fast, which went over to the strip club era of me wanting to have fast money and keeping it. But I used to always be the type of person that I never spend more than I know I'm gonna make back. Like, you know, like if I know I pay my rent, back then I'm paying my rent, I pay for my hair to get done, my nails, pay to work, do that, you know I got to go to work and make double this amount of money to cover what I've already spent. So I always look ahead of stuff and make sure, okay, I feel like I'm broke if I got $20,000, you know, so I be like, oh, this is terrible. Like, what is going on? Like, you know, I used to feel like I'm going downhill. But it'll be people that know my business and be like, girl, you ain't broke. You got $20,000 in your account. I be like, that's not enough money.
That's
you know,
your emergency fund.
that's my, like I'm all the way in another city by myself. You know, I have to have a lot of money on me at one time. So I just learned how to like manage money early, and then when music came around, I always was the type of person that I didn't want to split anything. I always wanted all the money. I want to see it. So that's why I was always independent. I always want to upload my own music. I want to see it come to my bank account. I want to see what I'm making. Then I can pay whoever I need to pay out of that. You know what I'm saying? So everything I've learned down the line has all trickled to my music career and me handling my business. As far as music, I had to have everything in line. You know, it's just like a business of my real estate business, because my husband and I, we have houses in Memphis. We fix them up, we sell them, stuff like that. But music is just as important with the business part of it. You have to have your LLCs together. You have to have your sync licensing together. You have to have everything together, or you'll get pretty much gypped out of all your money. And you won't know what happened to it. So
most important, your ownership.
And your ownership, masters, all that type of stuff. You gotta know what you're talking about and know what you're doing when you get into music, because it can get tricky.
Yeah, Drum, I want your input on that, because I know I have some friends in the music industry. My cousin's an artist, and one thing I know is that they get these advances, which they think are a lot of money, but they don't read the contract and see how much the labels own.
You have to recoup.
Yeah, exactly. So can you explain on that? Like, what's some things you've seen in the music industry go wrong with some artists?
I mean, a lot of times, like, the first thing I see.
What's going on, guys? My name is George Achampong.
I'm Jacqueline Shattuck.
And I'm Carter Cofield.
And we are the founders of Melanin Money. And the reason why we started Melanin Money is because we know that there's a great disparity when it comes to building wealth among people of color. We have a tremendous mission that we want you guys to join, right? Every single year, we want to help at least 1,000 people improve their net worth by $100,000, which will create $100 million of new black wealth every single year.
Can you imagine $100 million of new black wealth every year? As it stands right now, for every $1 that a white family has, a black family has a mere 10 cents to match that dollar. We want to increase the wealth in the black community so that we can have equal opportunities.
Simply put, we're about closing the wealth gap, and it starts with you.
So, see you inside.
Artists get caught up in what they're supposed to look like. So you get 250. And that's being modest.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of artists take 50, 30s, 20s, and 10s. But let's say you got 250. First thing you go do is buy $100,000 in jewelry. You know what I mean? You got to have something to roll with. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then whether you a felon or licensed to carry, you're going to go buy a few things to protect yourself. You know, just typical artists, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, you got all these things, now you renting an apartment. So you got the Bentley with all these chains and woo at an apartment. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's supposed to be garage action, you know what I mean? So, you know, a lot of times I motivate guys to, you know, get their tour set up, get your merch set up. You know what I mean? And set up a few multiple revenue streams to, align yourself. And mind you, whether you want to rent, nothing wrong with renting to figure out where you want to be, and learn the city. You just got to Atlanta, so I understand you might not want to come to Atlanta buying. I did the same thing, renting a few different places and whatnot to fill the grounds. But you want to set up the tour, you want to set up the merch, you want to set up, multiple revenue streams that'll back whatever you want to do, whether you want to travel, whether you want to, you're doing shows. The shows might be coming in how you want them, they might not.
And that $250,000 with that covers their recording. I mean, they got to use that for their recording too, right?
The $250,000 is recoup. You have to recoup. You have to make that $250,000 back. So if you don't make that $250,000 back out of them 3 projects that you drop, then you probably get dropped, and then they'll write you off as a negative. We'll write it's tax deductible, and we'll own those masters, and you'll have to start over on your own. But the label outside of that $250,000 might have added another $250,000 to the table to get the marketing and the PR and the promo and the radio ads and all of this different amenities that you're getting to a label and label services.
So what's your insight on the real shift? Because everything as we head into Web3 is transitioning to a decentralized method, right? So now you can, I don't know the full process, but you can upload your own music, right? So you don't have to have a label. You don't necessarily need them to do your marketing, right? So what has been watching some of that transition, because you've been in the game for a long time, what has it been like watching that transition from, hey, everybody has to do this for you, to now you can do a lot of it yourself?
I mean, it just comes down to understanding how to run your own machine. So a lot of artists are more comfortable with signing to a label and saying, hey, I just tell me what dates I need to be where. I want to be here at 8 p.m. I got a show, da-da-da. These are my rehearsal times, da-da-da-da-da. My stylist is provided. I got all of the clothes I need, da-da-da-da. And some people really put in the work, like, for instance, a Drake or a Rihanna. These are people who get deals, and they have the team to handle everything that they need. All they have to do is be the creative that they are and want to be. You know what I mean? But you have to deliver, and it's a deal. Like, okay, I'll put $3 million up on you, but if I put $3 million up on you and you're not doing the work, you're not gonna be able to recoup, and you end up, as opposed to this same $3 million I give this guy, he's busting his ass. He becomes the next Drake. Everybody is hating and laughing and this and that. Oh, he ain't this and that, da-da-da. He understands what he needs. A lot of labels came to Drake when he had a deal. He made himself hot before he even needed a label. You know what I mean? Okay, Cash Money, Universal, Epic, Def Jam, Warner, Atlantic, da-da-da-da-da. What do I need? Okay, he knew he needed street credit. So he went with Cash Money. Lil Wayne, I have a relationship with Lil Wayne. This is, you know what I mean? I can write records for, and he's gonna bring me out. Like, imagine this is the greatest rapper alive, so imagine getting brought out by the greatest rapper alive.
Yeah, that's big.
So you gotta understand and do the research on what you want and what you need. And saying, a lot of people can get in a room right now with the biggest executives, but they're not, what kind of deal do you want? And they ask you that one question, and you're like, well, I just...
Yeah, I need the bag, yeah.
So you got to be prepared for that meeting. And the people who are prepared, that's the opportunity. It presents itself in those situations. Gotcha. You know what I mean? So you got to be prepared in those situations when opportunity does present itself.
Yeah. What's some exciting things you guys got going on right now, or that you guys got coming up?
Well, right now I have my F1 cosmetic skincare line. This skincare, we have face wash, hydrating mist, moisturizer. Mostly I really like to cater to black skin and what we need and what I've experienced to do good on my skin. And others, I tested and went through products for I started when I had Blessing, so she's 4 now, and I just put it out, I think, last year. Okay. So I was testing products for a good couple of years before I even put them out. Then I just put out a body oil, and it sold out. I was so excited about that. So Thank you.
And this is right after you just had your second child, right?
Right. So what I did was I was pregnant walking around the house and Blessing was getting her hair braided and shout out to Meek Little. She was braiding Blessing hair and she was like, you don't have no stretch marks on your stomach? I was just walking around pregnant around the house and I said, no, I don't have none. She was like, what you put on your skin? I said, I got my little concoction I do every time. You know, I did it last time I was pregnant, and I do it every single night when I'm pregnant, and I just don't get none. So she was like, you need to share that with the world. I was like, you know what, you're right. And I started working on it while I was pregnant with my second child. And I put it out, and I put out a video, big and swole, pregnant. I was like, I'm kind of embarrassed, but I mean, people want to see you in your real element. Yeah, so I just went on, put it out, and I sold out, and I'm restocking next week. So I'm excited about that. I went and did a nice big photo shoot for it and everything. So that's the biggest thing I'm working on. Music, I'm always working on. That's my love. I love music. I'm always gonna rap. I rap when I feel like it. That's what I tell them. I rap when I feel like it. The pen is very strong, so I'm working on a project, a whole album.
Okay.
So that's real, and I'm actually working on a reality show, my own.
Okay, shout out to you.
So
Yes.
tell them stay tuned for that. They've been saying they want to see me again. Y'all gonna see me again.
So